Sripada Srivallabha Charithamrutham, Chapter 18, Part 1. Divine Auspicious Darshan of Sripada. The story of Ramdas. I reached Kuranagadda along with the Brahmin brothers. Sripada Srivallabha, supreme leader of the countless millions of universe, the ancient one, the one without beginning or end, the emperor of the 14 worlds, the one who assumed a sportive incarnation, finished his bath in the river Krishna and was walking towards the river bank. Words cannot describe his divine auspicious form. Divine rays were luring, divine rays of luster beamed from his divine auspicious form. Infinite love and compassion were emanating from his two eyes. He came near me and told me to pay obeisance to his feet. While I was touching his phosphorus feet, he sprinkled the holy water from his kamandalu on my head. Even before I spoke anything, the divine Sri Charna said with a sweet voice, "My dear Shankar Bhatt, I attracted you here on account of my extreme love for you. Words are not capable of adequately describing the sweetness of those words and his boldness, ambrosia, compassionate looks. He placed his divine hand on my head, which has the potency to offer assurance of security to all the world and to endow unlimited powers. The Kundalini power in me rose rapidly at once and rendered me helpless. I felt as if the entire universe before my eyes disappeared. An electric fire of infinite strength burnt every nerve and infused sputter as if thousands of oceans rose terribly, trying to submerge me in them. My eyes got closed, my heart beat and the pulse halted. My mind was rid of all cures and it became still and stood in a great void. The consciousness in my heart merged with the infinite universal consciousness. At times I had the awareness that I was in a state of bliss in an extreme subtle form. At other times even that notion of I am subsided and I was in an ineffable state of divine bliss. In that state, when I got the knowledge that millions and millions of universe were created, sustained and liquidated for me, it was felt that I was not separate from the universal consciousness. When this I am was at rest, I was in heavenly happiness all the ways very strange to me. Then Sripada with great love sprinkled water on me from his kamandalu. I returned to the normal state. Sripada, who is the Adiyogi of the universe, looked at me with a compassionate ambrosia look, which relegated the love of 1,000 mothers into oblivion. He smiled at me very charmingly. Foreigners visiting Sripada. The two Brahmins who came with me did not have courage to speak to Sripada or touch his divine auspicious feet. Sripada glanced at me, asked me about those two people. I said, "Lord, these two people who came here to have the darshan of the divine Sri Charna are also Brahmins." For that the tranquil, handsome one said, "My dear, they do not look like Brahmins. They appear to be foreigners and those who ate flesh of cows. The truth can be ascertained by questioning them." Those two brothers confessed that they were not Brahmins and they were Malichas. They recited Kalam, which is normally read by Muslims. Sripada reveals in a sportive play every moment. I was astonished. Then the great predictors said, "Only on the account of the fortune that is acquired from the fruits of righteous deeds performed over my births, it has become possible to recognize the universal Lord Sri Dattatreya moving in disguise under the name of Sripada Srivallabha. It is a greater fortune to have this feeling in a steady fashion and to have the feeling of complete devotion to him. All devas give their presence in a cow. A house without such a cow is equivalent to that of a burial ground. Those who serve the cows with care are much dearer to me. Cow's milk gives strength and satisfaction. Brahmins who eat the flesh of the cow deserve punishment. There is a tradition to sacrifice goats in yagnas and yagas rituals. With this sacrifice, not only the sacrificial goat but many other goats which have blood relationship with it will be released from their low birth and will obtain a noble birth. They will get a Brahmin birth very soon. Those who conduct such yagas, sacrifices, must have sufficient yogic strength and tapobal to impart noble births in this manner to the sacrificial goat. If yaga is conducted and the goat is sacrificed without having a related yogic strength and the tapobal, then they would accumulate the sin of killing the goat. Acts of dharma vary according to the place and time. If a great ethic eats the flesh of a cow, even if he happens to be a malchya, if it is done with an intent to offer to Parameshwara, then it becomes possible for the cow and its blood relative ones to get noble births. Otherwise, a great sin would get accumulated. That is why, as a general regulation, the killing of the cows is considered as a heinous crime. Krishna searched for Dharmakshetra suitable for the battle between Kauravas and Pandavas. Before the commencement of Kurukshetra battle, Arjuna was with Krishna. At one place, a farmer was letting water into his field. The farmer was searching for a rock to arrest the flow of water. In the meanwhile, his son brought him food from his house. After finishing the meal, the farmer served the head of his son with a sword and placed it as a barrier to the water flow. The father who was striking the sword and also the son who was struck down with the sword did not undergo any emotions when the death blow was dealt. Food is required for the welfare of the society. The only concern of the cultivator is to grow the crop. The cultivator discharged his dharma without any desire of reward. Krishna decided that area is suitable dharma kshetra for ensuing the battle. You, namesake Brahmin, eating the flesh of cow is not at all justified for me. However, on the account of previous good merits, the strength of the prayers of your ancestors, and moreover due to my free compassion, you have the fortune of having my darshan. Consider this as a great fortune and auspicious opportunity. I will not accept your salvations. Do not touch my feet. It is not possible to sprinkle the sacred water from my kamandalu. Leave this place immediately and go wherever you want. I will see that there is no dearth of food and clothes for you. Marry a Muslim woman and follow the Malchila religion. Let the cows killed by you become your children in this life and in the ensuing lives. Let them harass you in various ways and live happily by freely enjoying your hard-earned money. Let both of you who had the fortune of seeing me become famous with the names of Bade Baba and Abdul Baba and be uplifted by the complete Satguru incarnation. There is a village called Shiladi in Maharashtra. It will become the Siddha Kshetra in the course of time. You will receive the blessings of Sai Baba there. My command is inviolable. Like engravings on a rock, it cannot be altered. Get out of this place at once. Sripada ordered them like that. Only Sripada and I were there. Then a washerman named Ravi Das arrived. He was repeatedly saluting Sripada and did not care about him for some time. Thereafter, Sripada turned towards him and smiled. I thought what the reason might be for that. With a charming smile, He looked at me with compassion and touched the center of my eyebrows strongly. Wonderful scenes are seen before my mental eye. The acts of grace of Sripada towards devotees. Ravidas was rowing a boat towards Kurnagadda. An erudite Vedic scholar was travelling in that boat. The Pandit said that he should be taken alone in the boat because he was a Brahmin, and if others get into the boat, he would be suffering from the sin of contact and touch by the untouchables. Ravidas demanded a higher fare. The Pandit said that he was a great scholar and that he was going to visit Sripada. He added that Sripada would give me a liberal monetary gift on recognition of my scholarship, provided Sripada was a learned one. He promised to pay the boat fare out of that amount. Ravidas agreed. The boat journey started. The Pandit noticed during the course of conversation that Ravidas did not have any knowledge about the Puranas and the ancient legends. He remarked, "You see, my life is fulfilled. Since you do not have any knowledge of the Puranas and the legends, 3/4 of your life is wasted." Ravidas kept quiet. The river current was fierce and the water was overflowing. Added to that, a hole appeared in the boat and water was entering into it. Ravidas asked, "Sir, do you know swimming?" The Pandit replied in negative. Then Ravidas said, "I know swimming, whereas you cannot swim. Therefore, your life is 100% waste." Uttering the name of Sripada Srivallabha, Ravidas jumped into the river. A brilliant divine illumination dazzled in the eyes, appearing in the middle of the river. Ravidas thought it was all magnificent Sripada. Water was entering into the boat. However, some unseen hand was throwing all the water out of the boat. Both of them reached the shore safely, approached Sripada for darshan. Until then, when Ravidas saluted Sripada, rejected it with indifference. But on that day, he received the salutions of Ravidas with a complete loving smile shining on a placid countenance. He, however, saw the scholar accompanying Ravidas with a complete indifference. The scholar wanted a scholarly debate, stood dumbfounded. Sripada said, "Pandit, you lost discrimination between the right and the wrong under the influence of Vedic arrogance. You are a great scholar, hailing from a noble family, but you assumed sin instead of earning good merit. You subjected your dutiful wife to great anguish. You forcibly separated the wife of a washerman from him when they were leading a happy married life. You took her as your concubine. This wife of the washerman who became your concubine under the unavoidable circumstances is cursing you mentally all the time, even though she is submitting her body to you. Your wife, who is a good Brahmin lady, is undergoing untold mental agony as her married life was ruined. I am observing all these things, so I attract you here today. According to your horoscope, death is decided for you today. I am granting you a lifespan of 3 more years at present. Go to your home and change your prior evil conduct. If not, I will leave you to your fate. You are a scholar, there is no doubt. Do you want me to reward you with money for your scholarship, or do you want an extension of life by 3 more years? Replied immediately. The Pandit, who heard the voice of the omnipresent Sripada, remained speechless like a mute. He had a desire in his heart for extension of the lifespan, but words did not come out of his mouth. Sripada himself declared, "I am extending the duration of your life as per your heart desire. The washerman's woman, who is your concubine, should have been your wife in the next birth. But you took her as your own in this birth. Dharmas relating to a particular birth is restricted to that birth only. You have transgendered that stipulation. In this ensuing birth, that washerman couple would enjoy real comfort. You will be born as an impotent one and will work as a servant to that washerman and suffer the consequences of your past deeds. If you perform good deeds during the next 3 years, you will serve the washerman in the next birth without any want of food and clothing. If you indulge in the evil acts in the 3 years, you will serve the washerman and his wife and undergo all sorts of troubles without being able to get compensation with your labors. Ravidas, who brought you to me, will be credited with all the good merits because he brought you here when you were due to die. As a result of this good merits, he can serve me, an actual incarnation of Datta. You must get out of this holy land at once. Sripada commanded the Pandit. The Pandit left. Ravidas was washing the clothes for Sripada, cleaning the ashram premises and rendering his services. When Sripada came to the river for bath, Ravidas used to prostrate before him. Sripada used to accept his salvation with gracious countenance. Ravidas remembered the word of his father. His father said that since Sripada was omnipresent, every salvations made to him will confer to a great fortune of receiving salvations from hundreds of people. His father also said that the great fortune could be obtained only when Sripada accepts those salvations. Ravidas was overjoyed because Sripada accepted his salvations. One day, Ravidas saw a king playing in the water with beautiful women, and it would be good if he also took birth as a king. When Sripada came out of the river bath, this matter came up for discussion during the conversation with him. Sripada gave a boon to Ravidas to be born in a Muslim ruler's family in Bidhora Nagar. He assured that he would give his darshan again during the incarnations of Narasimha Saraswati. He looked at Ravidas with a peculiar smile. Ravidas died then and there. I underwent amusement and wonder to see these wonderful scenes before my mental eye. When I regained normalcy, Sripada glanced at me and smiled sweetly. How much can we praise Sri Gurudeva, who plays the sportive pastimes every moment? In meanwhile, some ladies came there with their sick husbands. Some parents came there seeking worldly husbands for their daughters. Sri Gurudev was distributing bits of turmeric. All of them left the place with great happiness. We shall continue from here in the next episode. Om Sai Ram.